It's now time to hear from our final speaker for the session. His name is Thibault. He's a leading anti-bullying advocate in his native Canada. And like our last presenter, he is passionate about building a community free from violence, in this case, the social violence of bullying. Phil's going to share his insights into how we can educate our youth to prevent bullying and to create a safe community for everyone. Please welcome Phil Thibault.
Hello. All right. Bullying. Does that provoke you? Does that put you in that mood? Well, it does for me. I mean, it's quite a word, isn't it? Bullying. See, bullying is provocative. It's shocking. It's social violence. My name, as we said, is Phil Thibault. I'm the CEO and founder of Bullskip. I'm an anti-bullying advocate. I work with schools and our youth to prevent bullying, and I am quite bold about it, actually. And if you heard me talk, you would think that I myself am pretty provocative because I tell my cancer story, which, well, let's just say is a guy thing. See, to get back to bullying, bullying seems to be so provocative and shocking that it is taboo. We don't talk about it. See, we're not having that conversation. Kids aren't talking, we're not talking. That has to change because that conversation saves lives. See, I have that conversation. In the last 5 years, I've visited over 190 schools. I've talked to over 60,000 kids. Because of my work, and schools who are committed to fixing that problem, we're making a difference. We're saving kids. Last year, I talked a girl down from committing suicide. And she wasn't my first one. You see, because of my work, I get about 5 or 10 suicide messages per year. And they all have a happy ending. Here at The Wise, we talk a lot about coexisting, living together. That's the theme. But why is it that I'm the only person here officially on business to address this issue? You see, that makes me look pretty good, I'll admit it. But my looking good here means it's not looking good out there. You see, in some cultures, we avoid that topic because it brings shame. There are millions of kids all over the world who are in distress because of this abuse in their school, not helping them. Isn't that the real shame? See, we hear a lot of that talk, building a better future, or creating this new age in education where everything's possible. How can we even think of tomorrow when the now isn't adequate? You see, bullying's impact affects more than education. It touches our economy, our society. The economist Pierre Fortin in Quebec estimated that for a single dropout, the cost over his lifetime or her lifetime will be $500,000 for our society. The global price tag for illiteracy is estimated at $1.19 trillion US. Of this number, what percentage relates to your country? And at that number, how much is due to bullying in your schools? That's right, bullying. You see, a bullied child is one who doesn't want to go to school, and one who does not pay attention when in school. You see, bullied kids, well, they don't want to go to school, so many of them end up dropping out and therefore not getting an education. That's when our economy takes a hit. A kid who is not paying attention in class, well, these kids, they're not learning because they're preoccupied, they're scared, they can't pay attention. So their grades drop. And because of that, well, they can't reach their full potential because, well, they're not getting the education they should. And because of that, well, society pays because it ceases to produce the minds that it needs. See, that's the thing. It's that simple. But even simpler, ask yourselves, if you were victims of daily abuse by a bully, wouldn't you want someone to make it stop? Don't you want your kids to know they can learn in a safe environment? That's the question. You see, guys, it's not just the future of learning that's at stake. It's actually our well-being, their well-being. See, when we address this problem, that means we can start a global conversation. That's the wonder of it. But if we don't collaborate, if we don't work together, we can't study it, we can't prevent bullying. That's the thing. We can't do anything about it. However, there are things being done, yes, but they're too local. See, we get data, we have statistics, but this information is too specific still to regions or countries like Canada or the UK, for example. See, fixing this problem means a global effort. We at Bull Skip, we fight bullying by empowering our community. That's what we believe in. You see, we have this new tool we're developing, a brand new social relevant tool that will bring significant change. Because that's what we believe in, the community, empowering these members. It's so important that we all get it. That's where we win. And we all have to be on board, all of us. See, last year a family came to me in distress. Their son, who was bullied, had done something silly and gotten kicked out of school. He acted out, basically. The school, the person at that school that had been told about this abuse more than once, didn't do anything about it. So because of this inaction, well, this young man was left without resources, feeling alone, on his own, without getting the help he needed. So he did what he could, and, well, at one point he got in trouble. So I mentored that kid, and through our talks, we were able to share. And I was also able to give that family options based on what we know. And using that information, they went to that school and they fixed the problem. And now this young man's back in school where he belongs, and this family's doing great because of that conversation. Our culture in education needs to change. Inaction is no longer tolerable and acceptable. You see, we have to work together. We have to build partnerships, tools, networks, hand in hand. We have to all want to be part of that solution together. Let's set that tone. Let's work together to eliminate the absolute worst thing that I've ever been through. You see, millions of kids everywhere are going through and victims of this horrible fate, just like me when I was younger. All these minds that suffer like I suffered. Let's change that. Let's make schools a safer place. Thank you very much.